In the darkest days of the Cold War, Western military planners faced a nightmare scenario. They called it the Red Steamroller. Intelligence estimates suggested that if World War III began, the Soviet Union and the Warsaw Pact would flood through the Fulda Gap in Germany with over 50,000 tanks. NATO was outnumbered 3-1. Conventional weapons, artillery, mines, and rockets simply could not stop that much armor. The only option left was the nuclear option. But there was a catastrophic flaw in this plan. If NATO used standard tactical nuclear weapons to stop the tanks, the blast radius and heat would destroy the very civilization they were trying to protect. To save West Germany, they would have to burn it to the ground. German towns, factories, and infrastructure would be erased. They needed a miracle weapon. They needed a bomb that could act like a sniper rifle rather than a sledgehammer. They needed a device that could penetrate thick Soviet steel, kill the crew inside instantly, but leave the town standing intact for the Allies to retake. Enter the Neutron Bomb, officially known as the Enhanced Radiation Weapon. The Soviets called it the capitalist bomb, a weapon that destroys human life but preserves property. Today, we are analyzing the physics of this terrifying device. We will explain how engineers hacked the atomic nucleus to release ghost particle that ignores steel armor, and why this weapon creates the most gruesome death imaginable, the walking ghost phase. To understand how this weapon works, you have to understand the energy budget of a nuclear explosion. In a standard hydrogen bomb, the energy is released in three forms: blast, which is the shock wave, heat, which is the fireball, and radiation. Usually, 50% is blast, 35% is heat, and only 15% is prompt radiation. The reason for this ratio lies in the construction. You see, the fusion fuel is usually surrounded by a heavy jacket, or tamper, made of uranium-238. This jacket traps the neutrons inside to boost the explosive yield. In 1958, American physicist Samuel Cohen proposed a radical idea. He asked, what happens if we take the jacket off? By removing the heavy uranium casing, two things happen. First, the explosive yield drops dramatically. The blast becomes much smaller. Second, and most importantly, the high-energy neutrons generated by the fusion reaction are no longer trapped. They are allowed to escape. The result is an inversion of the nuclear ratio. Now, the blast is minimal, perhaps only destroying buildings within a few hundred meters, but the radiation output skyrockets. A tsunami of high-energy fast neutrons is released, traveling at a fraction of the speed of light. It turns the bomb from a city destroyer into a biological sterilizer. So, the question now is, why neutrons? Why not just use gamma rays? This brings us to the physics of armor. You see, a Soviet T-72 tank is a fortress. It is covered in thick steel and composite layers. This armor is excellent at stopping gamma rays because gamma rays interact with electrons. The dense cloud of electrons in the steel acts like a shield. Neutrons, on the other hand, are different. As the name implies, they are neutral. They have no electrical charge. This makes them ghost particles. They are invisible to the electrons in the steel. They don't interact with the magnetic fields of the atom. They simply fly through the empty space between the nuclei. To a fast neutron, a foot of solid steel is as transparent as a window. In fact, the armor makes it even worse. You see, when these high-energy neutrons finally do hit something, they often collide with the iron atoms in the steel hull. This process is called neutron activation. The steel captures the neutron and becomes unstable. The tank itself becomes radioactive. And so, the crew isn't just being bombarded from the outside. Their own vehicle is turning into a radioactive microwave oven around them. The armor that was supposed to save them becomes a source of their destruction. This brings us to the grim medical reality. How does a neutron bomb kill? Well, it doesn't burn you, and it doesn't crush you. The neutrons act like microscopic bullets. When they enter the human body, they collide with the hydrogen atoms and the water and fat of your cells. This acts like a microscopic billiard game, sending protons smashing through your DNA chains. The chromosomes are pulverized instantly. But the death is not always immediate. This leads to a phenomenon known as the walking ghost phase, latent lethality. You see, to stop a tank crew instantly, you need a massive dose, about 8,000 rads. This causes immediate permanent incapacitation. The nervous system shorts out, and they collapse. But if they receive a lower dose, say 600 to 1,000 rads, they enter the ghost phase. The soldier might feel nausea for a moment, but then recover. He looks normal. He can talk. He can drive the tank. He can fight for hours, even for days. However, biologically, he's already a corpse. His bone marrow has been liquefied. The lining of his intestines has stopped regenerating. His white blood cell count has dropped to near zero. He is a dead man walking, waiting for his body to realize it has already been destroyed. It is a weapon designed to kill not by wounding, but by switching the fundamental machinery of life. When the details of this weapon leaked to the press in 1977, the backlash was unprecedented. The Soviet propaganda machine went into override. They labeled it the ultimate capitalist weapon, a bomb that valued property more than people. They painted a picture of pristine cities where all the humans had been melted away, leaving the banks and factories standing for the conquerors. The political pressure was immense. President Jimmy Carter, initially supportive of the tactical advantage, eventually buckled under the moral outcry and deferred production in 1978. It became a symbol of the amorality of the nuclear arms race. The idea that we would engineer a clean way to kill millions was too much for the public to stomach. However, the physics did not go away. In 1981, President Ronald Reagan quietly ordered the production of the warheads. They were built, stockpiled, but never deployed to Europe. They sat in bunkers in the United States, waiting for a tank invasion that never came. In the end, the neutron bomb remains one of the darkest chapters in military engineering. It exposed the cold calculus of war, that a building is an asset and a human is a liability. And while the media called it the clean bomb because the radiation dissipates quickly, the reality was anything but clean. It was a weapon designed to inflict the most agonizing, invisible death possible. It is a reminder that just because we can manipulate the laws of physics to suit our needs, it does not always mean we should. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell.